2 decades of democratic rule, and Nigeria is proud to play host to African leaders and foreign dignitaries to celebrate the journey and achievements so far. Going by the influence Nigeria wields in Africa, the president has always emphasized on the need to set good examples for other African countries, specifically with its anti-graft war. The National Democracy Day Anti-Corruption Summit is one of the ways the president is acting on his words. The theme, Curbing Electoral Spending, a panacea to public corruption, is organized by the country's anti-graft agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. It was held at the Transcorp Hilton in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This next report has more.
According to reports, Nigeria's elections are among the most expensive in the world. The country's Electoral Act pegs the maximum election expenses to be incurred by candidates at the presidential and governorship election at 1 billion naira and 200 million naira respectively, while that of senatorial and House of Representatives election is 40 million naira and 20 million naira. Despite this, presidents, governors, senators and members of the House of Representatives spend much more than the amount allowed by the Electoral Act. This, for President Buhari, is a source of concern. Buhari says excessive electoral spending influences voters' decision, thereby impeding the growth of true democracy in Nigeria.
Uncontrolled electoral spending and voter inducement by politicians must be combated if we want to consolidate true democracy and good governance. This summit, therefore, has the potential of spurring us to action, starting with the discussions and the exchange of ideas among participants. It is also my hope that the participation of heads of African anti-corruption agencies in this summit would enrich the discussion with valuable regional and continental perspectives.
Paul Kagame, whose country Rwanda has been ranked as one of the 3 less corrupted countries in Africa, stressed on some key principles required to fight corruption on the African continent.
Corruption needs to be tackled from the top down. This is not only the fairest approach, it is also the most effective because it empowers the public to join the fight and hold leaders accountable through elections and other means. Overcoming corruption is really about 4 key principles, in my opinion: culture, responsibility, accountability, and effectiveness.
Former director of Kenya's Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Lumumba, also says there is a need for the growing populace to be educated on how dangerous it is to aid corruption in any country.
The long-term health, not only of Nigeria, but our continent demands that the critical majority of the masses must have a change of heart. And that is why it gladdens my heart that beyond the convictions, we are also educating the population and creating an environment where the children of darkness, who are the perpetrators of corruption, will not have the oxygen to breathe.
Ibrahim Magu, acting chairman of the EFCC, reels out the achievements of the agency and also calls to the attention of all present some of the factors mitigating the challenges.
The Commission, for the very first time, Your Excellency, was involved in the process of monitoring illegal cash movement with a view to preventing vote buying during the 2019 general election in Nigeria. I believe that the fight against corruption requires a multi-stakeholder approach. The private and public sectors are critical players in this regard, and I'm glad some state governors are taking steps to establish institutional mechanisms to fight corruption. However, institutional mechanism alone will not eradicate corruption. We must have the passion and the will to make a difference.
According to the 2018 Corruption Perception Index reported by Transparency International, Nigeria is the 144th least corrupt nation out of 175 countries, with a score of 27 points out of 100. In the build-up to his assumption of office in 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari was very resolute in his decision to tackle corruption as a way of restoring the country's economy, and he has vowed to keep the ball rolling in his second term. Oyin Adekunle, TV360, Abuja.